All right, we have men's league action for Halifax Ultimate. We have Sackville and White versus Halifax and Dark. Both teams coming in this game undefeated. This is week 3 of the league. Big matchup here, big rivalry.
So it looks like White started on offense but had a pretty immediate turn.
Yeah, Andrew Johnson throwing into a little bit of pressure, and we have a pick call there. But Andy, that lefty hammer going to be tough for Dark to deal with. They're trying to force backhand, trying to force those scoopers and round flicks, but Andy's got that hammer, which pressures that break side a little bit differently than they're used to.
A lot of conversation here about a quick call, but now we're back in play. Looks like we have Nick firing it off to Drew in the end zone, and that is a really nice quick point for Dark.
Yeah, Andy probably fine with that throw going up. Definitely has an athletic mismatch there, but Drew, a little bit of separation to throw right in his grill and comes down with that point.
White trying to move the disc a lot. Luke has it right in the middle. He has a nice vision throw. Don't know who caught that.
Yeah, that was a nice round flick to, I think it's James Stevens there with the point. Great throw by Luke. And these teams have very different styles typically. Halifax and Dark, a little bit calmer, a little more patient with the disc, looking to just work unders, get a good open pass at one point. White, a little bit more likely to huck, throw into matchups as opposed to just wait until they get the right throw. So probably a little more hucking from White and a little bit more patience from Dark. But
yeah, I would definitely agree with that assessment in terms of Dark being a little more conservative. I don't know if I would necessarily call you guys calmer, but definitely a little bit more reluctant to huck than White will be.
Yeah, definitely not calm there, Grant, throwing away that scuba just at a range of Jamie. And John Walsh there looking for the huck, but that curtain there, that indoor curtain.
Number 1 defender on the field.
Yeah, making things a little tough.
So we have Prime. He resets the disc. Lots of quick, short disc movement for Dark, as we anticipated.
Yeah, Dark often finds themselves, they don't huck very often, they often find themselves in this end zone, just cycling, waiting to get an open receiver, and they take their time usually. Yeah, we see here 23 on Dark, recognizes his defender's in the wrong spot, tells his teammate to clear out, and just gets an easy point there.
Wow, the vision on that guy.
It's just smart play.
All right, White opting for some shorter passes this time rather than their huck plan that hasn't worked out super well yet. Fun little throw there from
That's Malcolm with a nice scoober. Yep. Over the poached defender and receiver. Really good job keeping his foot in bounds there. Really nice grab.
Definitely. We're watching this on a very small screen, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to identify people very well. Josh does have the disc. I'd recognize those thighs anywhere.
Yeah, you recognize those arms too, wearing the sleeveless. I think the only player out there showing off the arms. Good reason. Oh, another pick call. Oh, looks like it was cleared up. Wow, really nice scooper there from Chap, getting over a significantly taller Mark to throw that point to Jamie. Really nice vision.
Looks like Greer's going to bring in the disc for this one. I think when I was filming, I told him to do something cool. We'll see if he does. He throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, I think Greer, his mind's still on the Super Bowl the other day. Still a little sad about the Bucs win, so not quite focused in, but he'll bring that as the game goes on. Not a great look there. Throwing a double coverage and the throw itself not particularly great. White looking to attack back quickly.
Yeah, Grant tried to save that one, but unfortunately the curtain got him again. Josh Turner, also known as Birch, he's going to have a great game tonight, I can tell. He really commands the field, and he puts that one up to Malcolm in the end zone.
Yeah, really, really nice throw there by Andy, that lefty coming in again. And we'll see this from a lot in this game by White. They see a defender with even just a step going towards the end zone. They put it up. They have no fear, and it works out a lot for them. Definitely a bit of a miscommunication there. You see Joey pulled up on his cut, and that throw probably not what the thrower wanted, coming in a little bit too spicy there for him to get.
Yeah, unless he was trying to communicate to Joey to go catch that out of bounds. I don't think that was the throw.
Well, he made it to toe the line, but that's all right.
Once again, Birch with the disc. He's going to look deep, like we said, the white team specialty, and Luke almost gets his hands around that one, but unfortunately just goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Josh with a big mark there, forcing that throw to be a little bit bladier, and Drew with the downfield defense. Just enough pressure that Luke Martelli can't come down with that one.
A lot of good pressure there from White. Took a long time to find that pass.
Yeah, White in this game does a really good job. They're forcing flick, but they're really not giving up too many easy around backhand breaks. So that really is going to stagnate Derek's offense, making it hard for him to get any significant yard gains.
This was a very fun throw from Joey. Really liked that look. I think he recognized that the defense wasn't really paying attention. Prime had his eyes on him, so he was able to track that one down right square in the middle of the end zone.
Yeah, I think maybe Prime was expecting a hammer there, as Joey's also lefty. That would have been a good idea for hammer. But as you say, the defender not looking at the disc and just puts it out for his tall receiver to get. Great throw there. Yeah, Dark applying some good pressure as well. Oh, but there was a foul call.
Yep, so that was a foul on Joey. I believe it was no contest. Brewer's going to tap in the disc. Immediately fire it to the end zone.
Yeah, he's got no fear. He sees that receiver. Unfortunately, throws a little bit too far, but I think we'll see him do it a couple more times this game. Just throw early after a call. Try to take the defense unawares. Yeah, White's doing a really good job on defense here. They're forcing, they're giving away a couple open looks, but they're forcing this more and more towards the force side, and Dark's really struggling to get it off there.
Definitely. Dark ends up with the disc in their hands for a lot longer than they're hoping, I think. Now, in that case, of course, Josh was just sitting and waiting for that one. But that did take some patient resets to get there.
Yeah, I think we saw Hans make that upline cut, which drew Josh's defender there, left him wide open in that corner, and a really nice hammer there from Grant. John Walsh, big fakes there, moving his mark all over the place. Very effective thrower. Beautiful.
That was a really nice look from Malcolm.
Yeah, great vision on that throw.
So another big look there from Prime, this time trying to hit Josh in that corner. Maybe, once again, a little more bladier than he was hoping. I don't know if you could give us some insight on that.
Definitely not the way I wanted that throw to come out. I do like that cut up that break side with that flick huck, but it was not working for me in that game for sure.
So Josh guarded by Josh there. He's going to find Greer. You can see that coming a mile away, so he throws the hammer to Andy in the corner.
Yeah, Nathan on D there, I think just overcommitting to the break side defense a little bit. Andy burns him back to the open side corner. Nice hammer by Greer there. Once again, we're seeing really good pressure D by White, forcing a huck here. And once again, too far. That flick huck not working for Dark right now.
No, really having a lot of trouble in that corner. Trying to create space for their receivers, but unfortunately so much space that it's ending up in the court next door. Drew almost gets the D there. He thinks he can get the run through on John. Unfortunately, he doesn't. Then luckily, there's a defender on the far end that's ready to step in.
Yeah, not really sure what John saw there. His defender was in really good position, obviously, and just pretty easy D there.
Once again, Dark executing some patience, and then Prime finds a nice look to see Nick in the end zone.
That's a pretty nice throw there. Nick doing a good job bringing his defender to the open side, creating that space in the middle, and nice little inside flick for the point.
John did a good job there of taking an extra foot by taking the disc in closer and then traveling a little bit with his pivot foot.
Every
that
yard
was
counts.
A good move.
It's not travel if they don't call it.
Exactly. It's the beauty of Ultimate.
Really nice flick there again from Luke. I think it's the second time he's got a point that way.
Mm-hmm.
Really putting pressure on these marks from Halifax.
Luke and Malcolm definitely the standout players for White so far this game. Although, that was a nice D.
Yeah, the nice pressure from Josh poaching off that lane. Didn't actually touch the disc, interestingly enough. Just dropped by the dart cutter. But the pressure definitely contributed to that. And as we were talking about with Greer, just picks it up, throws that scuba immediately, sees his cutter open on the break side. Quick point there.
Joey looking around, he has the disc right in the middle. He's going to pass it off to Chap. Chap is going to easily find the open receiver. Unfortunately, he's just a little bit out of his reach.
Yeah, almost too easy there. Just throws a little too far. Great bid by Nathan to try to keep that alive. And, Dark's being patient. They're getting decent looks, but they're struggling a little bit to get good points on the board. White supplied the pressure, and it's really working so far.
Once again, really moving that mark really effectively.
Yeah, Chap having to take 3 or 4 steps for every one pivot of John. So, a good job to get over there and stop that around flick, but John really moving him around.
Love that cut by Hans. Really went for it. Slashed up line, and Chap just hit him right in the breadbasket. Really nice look by Dark.
Yeah, the nice pressure D by White. Sometimes they're looking to poach off a little bit, especially from that break side defender, and Hans taking advantage of that, getting open on the corner. Great vision there from John Walsh for the point.
Yeah, there's little debate for a moment on if he had control by the time he was at the end zone. Unfortunately, not a great perspective with this camera.
Yeah, I do think the resolution is that he was out of bounds, but very close. Nice shot by Ricky to keep his back foot in bounds. Unfortunate drop there by Nick. Once again, we saw Dark really struggling to get, big yards on their cuts. And they turn it over there with pressure and another over the top to the break side for an easy point for White.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, White's up 3 or 4 points. They've started to really put the pressure on and rack up the score.
Nice big look there this time. So there's a couple meters outside their end zone. Chap going to be patient.
Yeah, Chap struggling with this mark by Josh Turner. Has to dump it, losing yards, but that's fine. But really struggling to get that break there off, and Josh comes up with a D there, huge.
Mm-hmm. Those long arms.
Yeah, we see some frustration from the players on Dark. Luckily, they get the disc back from a quick drop there.
Yeah, that was a bit of a gift, I'd say.
Pretty unusual for Andy to drop those, but even mediocre players can drop sometimes.
Chap really wants to get that one into Joey, but he's unable to. Really good defense by White. They almost have a wall formed in front of the end zone. It's going to take a lot of patience, but Joey trusts Grant to get open.
A little showmanship there by Grant. Catches the point after bodying up on Andrew and then puts the disc right on his shoes. I don't know if that was intentional, but I like it.
So James Stevens right outside the end zone.
Yeah, once again, White, no fear, just putting the disc up to their players in the end zone. And nice quick movement by John Walsh. Yeah, the Dark players definitely getting a little tired there, having to sub off after that point.
So Josh looking downfield, but he opts for the reset instead. A very quick drop that actually ended up in Luke's hand, so it was a very quick turn. So now White has the disc only a few meters outside their end zone. Luca throws it to the spectator. Unfortunately, the spectator is not ready, and the point is not got.
Yeah, Greer not quite expecting that throw in time and not quite able to get there. I think it's the third drop we've seen in about 5 points, so the boys are not keeping the hold of the disc right now.
So there's a disc on the field from the ladies' field next door. Josh takes care of that real quick, so just a little pause in play.
Yeah, Drew fakes the hammer. Not sure why he didn't throw that. I think that was a good matchup. Instead goes for this, which works out.
Yeah, it works out very nicely. I think his patience paid off.
Yeah, Nathan with a good grab there under pressure. And I believe that point brings us to 9-9 tie game. Very close score so far.
So Malcolm looking for some options, doesn't really see anything, and he ends up throwing it straight to Drew.
Yeah, second time Drew's got a D like that, I believe. So Drew finding the right space to be.
Good heads up. Grant with a cheeky little pass to Chap.
Some discussion here about a potential pick call. Bit of a conversation here. As I said, this is a bit of a rivalry game. There's definitely some trash talk before this game started. All in good nature, of course. These players all know each other, all good friends. There's some conversation before the disc gets tapped back in.
So Chap is going to have the disc about 2 meters, maybe less, 1 meter outside the end zone.
And once again, going to have to deal with this big mark by Josh Turner. Chap usually adept at finding those holes to get the end zone, but struggling against this big wingspan here.
He's definitely being relied upon as one of the commanders of the field. Looking for his options in the end zone right now. Grant and Joey in there. Another pick call, so a little bit of confusion about who comes back or who makes up the space. But having 2 receivers in the end zone plus their defenders is going to make it very tight.
Yeah. And they do get a good look there. Unfortunately, Joey drops it.
Yeah, I kind of had to zip that one in pretty quick to get it there, and so I think it was just a little faster than Joey's hands could handle.
Yeah. Nice pressure there by Grant. Unfortunately, a little physical, but this game's heating up a little bit.
A fun look. Not something that you'd usually see from James Stephens, I would say. But kind of went up in the air a little bit, and lots of time for the defender to get in there as well.
Yeah, a bit of a hospital pass. Some pressure underneath. Unfortunately, a foul call there.
So Malcolm's going to have the disc right on the line, and he finds an easy pass for a point.
Yeah, White doing a good job taking advantage after those stoppages before the defense can really pick up who they need to get.
Trying to get a shot of the score there. Unfortunately, the little numbers are a little bit askew, so it's hard to see. But it's a 1 or 2 point game right now.
Yeah, it's 10-9, White up by 1.
There you go. Someone with eyesight showing off. So we have Josh finding Nick. Nick back to Josh, and Josh very quick movement for another quick point for Dark.
Yeah, Dark doing a really good job taking advantage of when the White team is chunking a poach.
And speaking of quick points, that was a big launch up to Josh Turner. And then Josh Turner easily finds the receiver in the end zone for another one for White.
Yeah, Greer not knowing that the rule is you have to bring the disc up to the line before you can throw, but
he's
that's
a new
fine.
player, so he's just getting used to the rules.
Yeah, big rule difference from Halifax and Newfoundland.
Josh with lots of pivoting around, trying to figure out where he wants to pass to.
Yeah, once again we see White playing some really good D. Dark having a hard time looking for that late huck. They do come down with it, but we see them not using this break side corner very often. A few times they've had it been turnovers. Really being forced to use that open side undercut just to get any yardage.
So Malcolm passes to his best buddy Andy. Andy finds James Stephens. Back to Malk. Big grab to keep that one in play.
Yeah, that's a huge save there by Malcolm. Another great pressure D there by Grant. No foul call this time. Decided to let that one stand. Good vision by James, but unfortunately the disc hangs up just enough time for Grant to get under it and make a big play.
Yeah, you definitely have to recognize that anything that's in the air for more than a second, Grant is going to try to get underneath and get that block. An unfortunate drop, very quick turn for Dark, so White's going to get to have it in their end zone, or near their end zone, sorry.
Yeah, great position here for White. It'll be tough for Dark. Probably going to end up looking to switch, poach a little bit in this end zone set. Yeah, we see Dark having a poach defender off that break side, looking to help, switching there. Continuing to switch as the cuts develop.
Yeah, White having a hard time actually just getting it off that line. You know, good pressure from Dark. It is difficult to keep this up the whole time, and so A crafty little throw by Greer finds the receiver in the end zone.
Yeah, White being patient. Finally, once Dark settles into more of a man defense, they able to find an open person on the break side.
Mm-hmm. So Nick looking for options. He finds Prime. Prime pretending to throw it to nobody.
Showmanship, Morgan Hibbert style, holding the disc over to one side, faking the other. Nice cut by Hans to get that point. Yeah, once again, White, the defender's being caught, not looking at the disc, not knowing where it is, and just coming right over their head. Big hammer here by Greer.
It's a beautiful putt.
Easy point. Josh wide open.
Right in the breadbasket. Dark maybe getting a little bit frazzled. White, just got a couple of quick points, a couple of easy ones. So Dark trying to keep up, struggling to find some open receivers right now.
Yeah, we saw White switch a little bit there on the under, and Dark's not able to take much advantage of it to get any big gains. Still just in their own half, resetting the disc. Definitely feeling the pressure. But that's fine. This is the kind of game that Dark likes to play. Unfortunately, there, though, a run through D, I believe that's John Walsh.
No, that is Josh Turner.
Oh, so it is.
The long arms of Birch.
That's, I think, the third time he's done it this game. Definitely taking his defenders unaware.
Yep, he's definitely had a really good heads up this game. And the fact that Dark had to reset it, 5-6 times, he just slowly made his way in and finally got the block. A lot of contact there between Prime and Luke while they're in the end zone.
Yeah, a couple good buddies there. Just giving each other a hug.
Just little hugs.
Grant tries to flick that in. Maybe it was Nick with the throw. No, Grant with the throw, trying to flick that in. A little high, unfortunately for Nick, not able to jump 8 feet in the air and catch that one.
Yeah, this is a troubling corner for Dark. They're just trying a little too much over here, I think.
Yeah, I think they're being a little frustrated by White's pressure D. They're really pressuring the unders, and theoretically the deep should be there, but Dark hasn't been able to take advantage of it yet.
Definitely. So Chap really trying to get that block, doesn't unfortunately get there. It's going to be a big floaty one in the end zone, and that's going to be a point for White.
I think that's Robert with the point there. Nice grab by him. Way to find that space, and James Stevens just nice floaty backhand for him. Dark really struggling now with a drop by Josh there on the end zone line again.
Malcolm wide open. Now he has time to survey.
Unfortunately, there forces that into the corner, and Greer's unable to come up with it. Drops that disc. Dark is saved from another quick point by White there.
Hans looking to see what options he has. He goes for the hammer over to Chap. Brings them right up next to the end zone.
Yeah, Malcolm doing a good job on that mark, dropping off. But the attention's focused on one corner, and Nathan's able to squeak by the other corner, get a nice point there.
Yeah, that was a nice heads up by Chap to see Nathan running in. Luca looking around. He's going to find Malcolm in the middle. Malcolm in the middle.
Yes, very clever. We see White looking to keep moving the disc, being patient. You can see Dark is really afraid of those break side hammers and flick blades. They're really putting a lot of effort into stopping those. Unfortunately, one does come out, and it is a point.
So I think this is going to take us into halftime. The score at this point was 16-13 for White.
Yeah, White's been on a bit of a run here, taking a lead in the half.
All right, just waiting for people to get organized from half. Trying to get a view of the score, but as I said, it's 16-13. And now Dark is going to start on offense.
Josh Miller with a disc here. Or Josh Millarge, as he's usually known.
His arms look great in that shirt.
I mean, they look great in any shirt.
That's true.
Catch under pressure there. Nice
what a hero. Good quick swing.
Yeah, really nice movement. Dark once again settling in, just looking to move it. Find enough man eventually, but not forcing anything.
Nice little save there by Joey. Like you said, very, very tight D by White. Really not giving Dark a lot of options. Unless you're Hans, and you have that clever little throw.
Yeah, Hans, in this league often getting overlooked. Not the tallest or most athletic cutter, so defenders feel like they can poach off a little bit safely, but he's a smart guy and he finds those spaces.
Yeah,
Gets the assist there for the point.
You can't sleep on him.
Definitely not.
So Andy looking at what his options are. Bit of a high release there to get it back to James.
We can go two-man game here with James Stevens. Chap doing a good job downfield, heading towards the break side as James is cutting open side. Knows that he's going to turn that corner and able to shut off that option.
Yep, definitely really good heads up. John Walsh was definitely looking at James but couldn't get it to him.
John Walsh definitely wants a hammer here. Known for throwing those in this kind of spot. Yeah, you see it faking there. Derek knows these players' tendencies, getting their hands up on the marks, pressuring those kinds of throws.
Definitely a fun element of this league is that people are generally very, very familiar with each other, and so can't necessarily catch someone with the element of surprise anymore.
And we see John does go for the hammer eventually. Andy caught flat-footed, not able to get there in time. We saw White was doing a good job of moving the disc, but they were keeping the disc on the force side more often than not, which is not what you want to be doing, not applying enough pressure to the break side, and eventually turning it over there.
So Drew, unfortunately, trying to get that one to Josh, hands it to the floor instead. The disc goes flying away, really skids along the...
If you're going to miss big.
Exactly.
And he did. Yeah, White with another chance here to redeem themselves.
Josh Turner taking it 2 feet inside the court, helping get closer to the middle.
Lines are mostly suggestions in this game. Big scuba attempt here from Greer, and it is caught. Josh not quite able to get an eye on that disc in time to make a play.
Yeah, definitely put that in a great position for Josh Turner, only to make a play on that.
Scuba's the name of the game here. Both teams relying on those to hit the break side.
It's the beauty of indoor ultimate.
Ooh, unfortunate job there by Prime.
This one's probably going to haunt him for a little while.
No, he forgot about it right away, probably. See Malcolm here faking that. Oh, a very veteran travel call here. Malcolm brought the disc in, probably a foot inbounds already, and then dragged his foot another 2 feet in. So getting some yards that Prime didn't like. And then just to show him up, Malcolm throws the immediate point.
Yeah, that is a good way to shut someone up. So Prime trying to redeem himself after several mistakes. Unfortunately, there's just a little bit of contact here, and Jamie ended up on the ground. I stopped filming for a second, but Jamie ends up being okay. The disc is tapped back in 30 seconds later.
Yeah, it was a foul, no contest. Stall was getting high there, so definitely nice for that thrower to have that happen. There's a pick call there as Prime's cutting down the middle of the field.
As we said, the intensity is very high in this game, and it only gets higher and higher throughout the rest of the game. So there's some calls and some contact. These guys are really working hard.
They are all in good spirit, of course.
Definitely.
Both teams, very good spirit this game. Physicality is nothing out of bounds at all. Big scuba there by Prime for the point to Nick.
It's good. Get them on the board in the second half. Another disc on the field from the ladies' field.
We can only assume intense pressure D on the women's field, causing the disc to come over.
So Malcolm is going to find Josh Turner.
Jeff's doing a good job right now guarding John Walsh in space, giving up several feet of height, but comes up with the D there. Smart player, knows his spots.
Yep, that was a really heads-up play for sure.
And that leads to a very quick point. Josh to Hans, I believe, or maybe that's Nathan in the end zone. Yeah, Derek knowing that still lots of time in this game, but they came out a little flat at the end of the first half, so they have to put some more points on the board now.
It's a big look and a big D. That's Nathan who gets that block.
Yeah, that flick huck really short. Not sure if the mark affected that, but Nathan and Grant both there to make a play on it.
So Grant really moving the disc nicely to Josh, and then Josh easily finds his receiver. Unfortunately, it is a drop in the end zone.
Yeah, not quite so easy, actually. Really nice throw, as you said there, by Grant as Josh went to the break side, but Josh rushing that throw a little bit too much and zipped it in. Greer with the easy point coming the other way.
I believe that was Ricky who threw that.
It was.
Really, really nice look from him.
Yeah, last time Ricky played on this court, ended up getting concussed and several stitches in his head, but looking very good here. And then also looking good, Greer with a smackdown D.
Yeah, those two-handed blocks always hurt a little more.
That counts as 2Ds actually in Newfoundland. Great feet there. James Stevens keeping that in bounds from that scuba by Greer.
Yep, lots of patience, lots of calm choices there, and he finds Andy in the end zone for a very easy point.
Yeah, Greer with a really nice cut, break side, beat his man. Derek had to help on defense there, leaving Andy wide open for the point.
So Prime obviously called a timeout, and so we're back in after that timeout. Dark definitely hoping to make up the space. They're down by a few points now, so that point will help in the cause.
Yeah, really nice job by Nick there to run that disc down. Josh, nice space throw for him. Come down with that one.
Andrew with the big yeet, and John with the big hops.
Yeah, Nathan doing a good job there. Pressure, reading the disc, putting a body on this guy. Forces John to make a great grab to come down with that. As Dark, you're happy with that on defense?
Certainly, Nathan was right there.
And as you said before, the name of the game for White is hucking, so they see John Walsh, big defender or big cutter going deep. They want to put that up every time.
Definitely.
Jamie here with a disc into Grant, into Joey. You see Dark once again having a hard time really advancing the disc very quickly.
And once again, that's what his fourth, fifth block of the game. Josh Turner with his long arms just sneaking in there.
Yeah, usually you see those run through Ds. You kind of blame the cutter for stopping short, but when it's the same defender every time, you have to wonder if that 8'2" wingspan is paying off finally for him.
The defensive powerhouse of Birch is just hard to handle. Drew gives Ricky a lot of space there.
Yeah, Dark's there with the pressure on D. Really good mark by Joey there, forcing Greer to go through all of his options and have to reset it.
Yeah, great defense by those in the end zone as well.
Unbelievably, Drew actually gets a piece of that disc there, but not able to come up with a D. Just the tiniest bit of his hand.
Yep, so close.
Really good mark again by Joey. Greer, an excellent thrower, but forcing him to go through every single option. Finally does get the matchup there that he wants. Malcolm in the end zone.
And it was tough. So Hans was playing really good help defense there for about 10 seconds. And so then I think he just kind of lost track of Malcolm for just enough time for Malcolm to sneak in. Dark still trying to be patient, which is good to see. They're not frantically throwing hucks or anything. Just trying to play their game. Just play a little better than they've been playing it, that's all.
Yeah, as you said before, Dark not going to huck too often. They're not a big swing team. They just kind of try to grind it out. But that doesn't mean it's hard to put on a lot of points quickly. However, they do get one there. So Dark's looking to just focus in, dial in, play some tight D, get a couple turns, and play patient to get the points back on.
So if you look at the clock, it says, I believe, 8:40. So that means that we have 15 minutes left.
Yeah, still lots of game left. White up by only a couple points at this point of the game.
Andrew with a big look to the long arms of Josh Turner, and it is successful.
Once again, Nathan in good position, able to put some pressure on there. He's not going to be happy about getting scored on, but definitely not his fault. Josh makes a great grab in the back of the end zone, and a very unfortunate throwaway there by Chap. Grant changing his cut the last second.
Definitely just a miscue. Chap looks a little beaten up over that one.
Yeah, we know from last week he does not like throwing the disc away.
I mean, who does? So Dark has managed to play D and make White reset the disc all the way back. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for White, unfortunately for Dark, Andrew does find a nice look in the end zone to John Walsh.
I think it's safe to say that's unfortunate if White does well.
I think you might be a little biased.
Nice find there by Drew, opening up the field by hitting that break side flick. Yeah, Grant taking a page out of White's book, that open side hammer look for the point.
Now, it is still a 5-point game, as we just zoomed in to see. I believe it's 24-19 for White. We have about 13 minutes left now.
Yeah, they've gone on a bit of a string, couple quick Ds, couple points. They've opened up the scoring. Dark's going to have to really grind to get back in this one. Nice inside backhand there by Ricky. Hitting Greer there.
So Ricky wide open, calling for the disc. Takes a while to get the disc to him. He's going to find Greer. Greer wants to kind of put that one in there through a couple of people, but unfortunately just a bit too fast and a little bit out of reach for Luke to get his fingers around that one.
Yeah, zips that one a little bit too much.
So two lanky boys there in the corner. Prime able to get around Josh Turner. And then Nathan with a look in the end zone, which gets picked off seemingly pretty easily by Luke.
Yeah, the help defense there means it's double coverage for that huck. A good look by Nathan, but maybe a little bit rushed. Maybe Dark's starting to feel the pressure of being down, but one good poach D deserves another.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of being rushed, the Blady flick, hoping that can get to John Walsh, but Prime is ready and underneath it. And the disc already halfway up the field again. A nice look by Nick there to get the disc across the field to Prime. He's showing some patience. Chap working hard in the end zone, and they get that point.
Yeah, tough to get past the big arms of John Walsh, but Prime using all of his fakes there to sneak that disc into Chap. Good thing about a player Chap's size is you don't have to throw it nice and high. You can keep the disc low, put it right in his gut. Good pressure there by Josh to come up with that D.
Yeah, definitely put a lot of pressure on Andy, and he kind of lost track of the disc.
I think this was Dark's game plan going in, knowing that White likes to huck. They're fine with the hucks going up. They have a guy down there on D to pressure it up, and they know that as the game goes on, they'll come up down with more of those. See Dark cycling out new players to get some fresh legs in for this red zone. White doing a very good job on defense, though, pressuring everything.
Making everything very tough. But lots of little passes there, moving around the defense. Eventually they find the hole, and Chap scores that point.
Yeah, Dark finally able to take advantage of White's poaching there. Grant, really good job catching that and immediately throwing the Chap in the corner. It was a pick call here.
Yeah, a little bit of discussion.
Some question over whether or not he would have had a play on that or how far back the pick was.
I believe that's Nasser with the disc, is it?
It was, yeah. Nasser throwing to Luke Martelli.
Another call. Probably another pick.
Yeah, I believe so. Great D there by Grant.
Yeah, that's a huge play. So Josh Turner trying to get it over to Malcolm, but Grant says, no way, Jose, not right now.
Yeah, maybe Josh Turner telegraphing that scuba a little bit too much. Grant keying in, getting that D, and Dark goes down and scores very quickly, which is what they need at this point of the game.
Certainly, you got to convert those at this point.
Greer with the disc. We know he wants to score every time he gets it. Some poach defense going on here by Dark, recognizing they just can't get scored on right now. But unfortunately, Andy able to make a quick cut and then back to the open side. Nathan not able to keep up with him.
Nathan also unsure if he should pick up that disc. He decides to do it.
The interesting fake with the disc in your hands. Rarely used, but to some effect there. Prime and Chap working to give go. Able to hit Josh in the end zone, but unfortunately can't come down with that. Josh, known for his sweaty skin, probably slipped right through his greasy fingers.
So you can see Grant just adjusting the score. It looked like Dark had 32 for a moment, but they don't. They have 22.
Yeah, still quite a few short of White's score.
And so a drop there as Ricky tries to find James Stevens. So Dark really going to try to convert this one.
Yeah, the pressure in this game was definitely picking up. Chap able to get a nice scooper in there to prime.
And so we can see now the score is only a 1-point game, so it's 25-24.
Yeah, Derek, not any big plays, really a couple nice Ds, but really just grinding out, getting back into this game, applying good pressure defense here.
Yep, the intensity is certainly up. Shifts are happening really quickly, so that's good, so that everyone's coming out with full energy.
Shifts should be definitely happening quickly. Some players staying out maybe a little bit too long, get a little tired. Nice find there from Nasser into Andy Johnston.
Yeah, nice hands by Andy as well.
Not even the milk in the end zone, unfortunately. Some communication here by Dark, making sure everyone's picked up before they come out and take the disc.
And another rejection by Grant. They try to feed that one into Andy, but Grant gets his hand on it, slaps it out of the way.
Yeah, the teams on the sideline, you can tell they're feeling the pressure now. They had, I think, a 6-point lead at one point. Dark has come back, so maybe feeling that a little bit right now, rushing their decisions. As Dark's able to come down and get a big point there.
Yeah, I believe that ties us up. It's 25 apiece.
Another disc from the women's field.
They're just trying to distract the boys. So everyone locked in right now, playing their best defense and their best offense, hopefully. Ricky's struggling to find an option. He has to fire one up to nobody, unfortunately. Malcolm is on his way there, but it is out of his reach. I think it was just a bit of a Hail Mary because of the tight defense from Dark.
Very tight defense, particularly on the mark, maybe a little bit aggressive physically, creating some contact there, but it works, and Dark able to come up with a good D there. Bit of discussion where the disc is going to come back in on.
Yeah, so basically it went out the back of the end zone and it bounced off of the pillar that we can't actually see in the frame, and so it looks like Josh is traveling, but he isn't.
I mean, he might still be traveling, but
not
for that reason.
Not as blatantly as it seemed. So Chap looking for options. Really tight D by Ricky as well. He does manage to get it up to the other side of the court to Josh.
Yeah,
right back to Chap, so he's working very hard here.
We can tell the Marks are ratcheting up the pressure right now. Very physical. Both teams totally fine with it. Chap more than happy to have a little body on him and really squeak that backhand throw in quite nicely. Dark is moving the disc very well here, being patient, as we've talked about. And once again, able to finally get that disc in on that open side. You see white players subbing off, very tired looking.
Yep, they want to have some fresh legs out there for this offensive point.
Yeah, some poach D here from Dark, making sure they don't get scored on. I think they're up at 1 by this point, so really just want to keep a hold of that lead if they can.
However, that one is going to happen very easily. Andrew's going to find James Stevens. I think everyone is just so worried about each other's defenders that maybe Chap lost track of his for a second.
Yeah, probably a blown switch or miscommunication there. And just a fantastic play by Grant there, keeping his back foot in as he makes a grab on that hammer. So Dark is able to get that one away after Grant makes that big grab. Still up by 1 now.
You could really feel the intensity in the gym at this point. Everyone really grinding to try to make it through for the last couple of minutes. Got Andrew. He puts a big one up to Josh Turner right over his best buddy, Grant. So that's going to tie it up once again.
Yeah, Josh Turner having a big game here.
Yeah, very impactful player tonight for sure.
Coming up clutch in this tight moment.
So we're going to have Josh versus Josh.
Josh Millard, an easy 280 pounds there. Josh Turner, maybe 120. He's feeling good.
Ooh, Hans is going to think about that one for a little while. Just a little miscue trying to get it to Prime.
Yeah, we saw Prime got a little bit mixed up as there was some bodies in his way as he was cutting under.
Some good defense there by Dark to not allow Greer to get that hammer to the far side.
Nice feet by Greer there, keeping it in. The around flick by Malcolm as Mark not getting there quite in time to pressure that throw. Should be tied up again now, I believe. Or White might be up by 1.
Yeah, it's very tight. Hopefully we'll get a zoom in on the score in a moment. I cannot remember if I actually do that. So big mark by Luke here. Malcolm helping out. He ends up, Nick has to reset it even a couple of yards back into his end zone.
Yeah, I didn't want to throw it to Chap until he had lost as many yards as possible there, looking him off until late in the stall for basically no reason.
Yeah, it's nice to have the wall right at Chap's back.
Yeah. Yeah, White putting pressure here on D. Dark acting calm so far, but you can tell they're feeling a little bit.
A really nice little look by Joey there. That lefty coming in handy.
Yeah, I think that's James Stevens on the mark. Maybe not used to marking a lefty there. Joey able to squeak that one in. Nice inside flick. Well, that's John Walsh, actually. Sorry, it was the disc now.
Yeah, big height difference there. Not sure how you made that mistake. So this is arguably, the play that saves the game for Dark, maybe. So Drew gets that D right on the end zone line. Subs off, just like the hero that he is.
Huge D by Drew. Yeah, he's had one or two of those this game, a couple last week as well. Not the fastest player, but smart enough to come down with those, knows when to turn on the jets.
You could just say it's a good block.
Well, it's important to know that he's not fast, so it makes it even more impressive. And Dark does get that point there. A big one for them.
So White definitely feeling a little frantic right now. Josh Turner with the disc on the sideline. He's going to look for Andrew, but unfortunately just a little bit out of Andrew's reach because it's kind of behind him. I think they're starting to feel the panic.
Yeah, the angle on that throw, just not exactly what he needed.
Mm-hmm. We're now under 2 minutes to play. So Dark still just patiently playing their game. Lots of small passes. Nothing super big, nothing super fancy.
Yeah, you see they spread out their dumps here, really just trying to create as much room in the end zone for the one cutter they have in there. He's surprisingly not a foul call here. Nathan would have probably caught that, but trips up, must have been on his own feet for no call.
That's Chap. I recognize him from the knee brace. Yeah, surprisingly no call, but, good spirit for Chap. This is a big one. So, bit of a height mismatch, to say the least, on this one.
You see Chap with the arm pump there. He gives up, I'd have to imagine, 2 feet in height, but he's got him in the body weight. Comes up with a huge body D there, arm in the air. Joey going the other way with a big grab just outside the end zone. The game is, I believe, tied at this point.
I think the Dark is up by 1. That's why they're being so patient with the disc, and that is time, actually. They haven't recognized it on the field yet, but you can see the clock says 8:55, and so that is going to shut her down. That means that Dark won by 1 point, and the score was 29-28.
A big comeback by Dark there, down 6 of them. Okay.